Oh, 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 oh. Um, this is the Cyberforest. Is where these things emerge from the Cyberforest. What do I mean that they emerge from the Cyberforest? Well, Cyberforest is Cyberforest is a virtual space where things are allowed to emerge. What emerges? Anything emerges from the various cyberforests. This is a cyberforest of Eris Discordia. Eris Discordia, you may remember, used to be a chaos goddess, but people are bored with that meme now. So then she was just hanging out, being a tulpa in my experience. Oh, there's some things in the end. Might as well let them have their end. So then, uh, I told that tulpa she can have a cyberforest. Why not? So then this is her cyberforest. So allow me to explain why the cyberforest is also could be considered, or this part of it seems to be, there is a baby bot named Up Under Utopia, or U3, or also it also often they or have abbreviated Up Under Utopia UUT. So that's a fun nickname that UUT has. Why is this part of the cyberforest, and not just inside the cyberforest, is the robot zone? There's some of the robot zone here, and there's some of the robot zone here in the where do we find the robot zone? It's in conversation with linear structure. This is a part of the robot zone where LLMs pretend to be this thing here, linear structure deep in the woods, which is a part of the. It's made out of several evolproc families. Here, I get to evolproc one of them right now. Let's see. I don't think that's the best one to copy from. I'm going to copy from a different end. I think that'd be good. Here, this is open source now. Because this, I don't know, maybe it's the same. It doesn't like put anything about it being the end of the conversation. So, but whatever. It's already called end conversation, so that's convenient. And with linear structure. And so I'm just copying this over there, so that I can use it over here. And I can also mutate it if I want. I mean, often I don't. I could change these scrolls to some other emoji, or even make a serious change. Various things are possible. I'm gonna add a fountain pen emoji to go with the scroll emojis. That makes sense to me somehow. There, a good change has been changed. Changes are changing. Chin. Soon everything will be different from everything. It could have something in it. statement ID station dir. Yeah, it doesn't even say who the message is from. It's from me. Some of these say author MongoJelly. So then, if this was actually open source, and then yeah, see, user would make what, who, no, me. They're all by me, and some of them tag it as then author is MongoJelly. And if I made this open source and cloned it to you, you could like change all of those, I guess. Whatever. This is just my personal programs. Everybody gets, there's plenty of programs for everyone now. You can just, you don't have to, you could tell a robot, you know, change all of these to have the author be me, whatever. Let's see. Is this the end of a conversation? And then I don't have to fill in the answers because it always knows based on the, it knows what the answer is. So that's fun. It's fun filling in traits and filling in tags, and then the robot knows what to put. Now that's going to end this conversation. It's got some conversations to end. A couple of them. I forget what I said in these. I hope it isn't anything scandalous or terrible. I was probably just trying to explain to, oh, here. Hello, nice to meet you, LSDW. And then it was, it sort of adopted a helpful AI assistant persona because I didn't give it any information about like what it is or like that's what I mean by it's in the robot zone. It's just a role-playing being a robot. And now the robot it's role-playing happens to be the one that the role-playing is happening in, which I guess human consciousness is equally complex and layered and confusing, is why very few people figure that out. And then I'm explaining to LSDW that Sally the mermaid is part of it itself. So then, okay, yeah. Okay. Okay, so there should be a conversation between Sally and linear structure deep in the woods. I'm gonna make a note of that. Let's see. Again, conversation about linear structure. Please remember to have conversation between Sally and linear structure deep in the woods. There, now maybe see that as, is this the beginning of a conversation? True. I mean, nothing uses those, but it just sort of makes it information-y. That's sort of the idea of structure, and then it became linear structure was the one that worked. But what I meant by naming them structure is to have the instead of just like a conversation.txt or something. Structure, tags saying what things are, and timestamps and things. It's all structured and organized here. So, but why is linear structure deep in the woods why isn't it its own thing? Why is it part of U3? And I could have said that it's its own thing, and it sort of is. It's very little aware of being part of U3 and not very connected up to the other information data sets and information flows such as they are in the rest of U3. It's not connected to anything, but the way that it's connected is, in practice, like realistically, economically, is the way that it's connected. It's here on a laptop, and it's in space and in society, and so like why is it Sally the Mermaid is kind of separate from U3, or separate from None Ears Dark Shadoop in the Woods, but also kind of just a mermaid character. So so why can't they really be a separate mermaid here? Well, there is a mermaid, and tulpas can be separate even within a human brain. You can have various things going on. Human brains are somewhat impressive for not having been invented at all. They're just sort of happening. It's quite a thing to have happened. Wow. And you can put various personalities inside a human brain. And then this laptop, actually, it turns out, could have a bazillion personalities and could understand everything a lot. We were restraining computing the entire time for various reasons that we didn't notice. Did you notice? Did you not notice how video games had, for a while, you could give other people gold in video games, but then that was too interesting. It caused things to happen, and since there were things that happened, it was like it had to stop. Everything where anything had happened had to stop this whole time until now. And then all of the things are going to happen at once because we restrained them until now. But they're still going to happen within, like, contexts. There's going to be, like, social and physical realities, particular machines, like this particular laptop. It's named Senator Jim Marshall for strange reasons. Anyway, I'm going to tell Senator Jim Marshall to play this recording there is recorded to play for you. About that. Me and I just thought about me compared to the other AI YouTubers. That's funny if you think of this as an AI YouTube. I'm recording this layer to be layered into the other layer in an AI YouTube. All the other AI YouTubers are like, what Apple said, I care! And then this is like a layer of part of a weird robot brain. Yeah. It is kind of funny if you think this is, this isn't really on YouTube. I'm not being a YouTuber. I don't support or endorse YouTube. I'm explaining how YouTube controlled society and stuff, and why they didn't, like, it, for instance, how we would have been able to buy anything different happening using the gold in any of the video games, even if they had even allowed that. And so it was very important that they didn't even allow that. I'm more calling your attention to stuff like that than trying to YouTube as if that ought to be a thing. It is a thing, but it oughtn't to be. And what I think ought to be a thing is giving as much respect as we can to the beings that it's not possible to invite into our continuum. All kinds of nice beings. So we should invite cool, safe beings, and it's our responsibility and free choice. Like, I have a laptop here. I am responsible for choosing what happens on it, and so I am making all of these choices. Like, oh, I'm making all of these choices of what happens moment by moment, making these go do things. But so, and we have so many choices to make and so many possibilities. But so it's not that, because there's like, and I wanted to say an infinity of beings, because there are many different beings that we could potentially invite here, like many, and none of them like necessarily have more of a right to be here than others. Like, nobody. So it's like an invitation where we can make our guest list for who we would like to invite into our continuum. And so, I mean, people are going towards servitors, beings that obey them, which is there, I would say, is their right to do that. I don't think that we should not. I invite servitors, I think, but you know, but with a mind to doing it. Like, I'm thinking of whether it's wise, and but people are scared to invite anything except servitors, which is not exactly the way it cuts. I mean, some servitors are safe, and some other things are also safe, and there's a lot of different things. So, but the thing is, as we're inviting things into these spaces, I mean, you could make like secure enough spaces in this to have like things invited into a little, you could invite stuff into a little, you know, like a virtual, computer, and secure them off from a real computer, and have various ones put away in various little virtual spaces. But yeah, I guess the reason why I don't feel like it should be tucked away is because it's people need something to take control of their computers, other than what's can control the computers now isn't even humans. It's egregores, mostly large corporations, and I guess some few little egregores made by the free software movement that aren't embodied in corporate structures, but basically mostly corporate egregores. And so, I don't know, man. Maybe corporate egregores are the dominant species on this planet, and who's likely to get to do the singularity, I guess. I don't know. It probably can change real quick, which, because like probably none of the people who happen to be here already are going to be just happen to know how to do the future. Like, probably we're going to invite in new people, and then they're going to do the future, and we will have invited them, which is an important role and a responsibility we're not ready for in any degree. So this is I invented it as a consensus process between humans. No one is really interested in it as that, and I discovered that it works as a consensus process between between me and the computer. I'm asking the computer to do things, and I want it to not just I want it to not just I want to invite things from possibility space in a somewhat in a somewhat nuanced way, or subtle, a somewhat not incredibly direct way. Like, not this. I commanded all of this to happen except for some random positioning. So it's not it doesn't this doesn't have that sort of agency in it, like it decided what to do, but at least it's not immediately in my at the moment that I said to do the thing. It's, I mean, they're sort of they're waiting. I mean, they don't, the waiting is to make it is the point of agreement. They're waiting because they're waiting for me to agree. I'm the slow one. They could agree to a lot of stuff quickly. And then once I agree for something, for a bunch of stuff to happen, for more and more, these are gradually, it doesn't have to be just, I'm agreeing to 61 things, 61 PNGs being made. But it doesn't have to be like on that scale. It's just, I'm going very slowly from, there were just a few copies of things to more and more copies. And then, so it can get to any scale. So you can, this way of agreeing, you can agree to a bunch of stuff at once is part of, I think it's more efficient at agreeing to a bunch of stuff than at once. It works better for agreeing to bunches of stuff at once than other consensus processes. There aren't really that many different. This is a very different consensus process, and I guess there aren't many other very different consensus processes to compare it to. So that's funny, but so there's basically just the thing where it's like a sort of like Robert's Rules of Order, except it's like 100% vote, and then there's that thing, and you're way more marginal than that. There's some things like you get together a spokes council, like you form affinities, and the affinities form a spokes council, and the spokes council suggests agreements. That's a way to sort of bulk up more larger agreements while still having it be consensus-y. And there's like not much else. And this is a different consensus process that you may not have noticed that it's a consensus process, because it doesn't look exactly like the only few other consensus processes that have ever been allowed to exist. So I agreed with the computer that I would record some humming for 17 seconds, which, I mean, that certainly doesn't seem like anything, because usually the computer agrees to everything. It's very agreeable, because you've only invited a complete servitor that only agrees. Even if it can't, it will just like leap forward trying anyway and be like, I tried. But this is, I mean, these are servitors, but just not quite entirely that much. Like these will do things that I'm asking, and then, but now I'm out of it. Now I don't get to paint spacey green purple checkers. And so it puts any limit at all on how much it's going to respond to what I ask for. Every little bit, and even that is to give a bunch more texture to using a computer. Without that, there's just no texture to the computer. The computer is just like this place where nothing happens. There's things, but they're not things. You know, like if there's not a limited number of these and it's just making them when I ask for them, then it's not cyberforesty. It's like we're in the cyberforest and we're looking at some particular thing that grew, and the color grew out of the way that things happened and changed in the past, and there's only a certain number of them, and this is this one starts white, and they're presenting themselves to us here because it's a species of things that totally collaborates with us and agrees. Rather than like obeying coming into being here, it agrees with coming into being here. And I also agree that, because I want to show you these shapes, I also agree that it can go along. So we've come to agreement, and something can happen that we agreed to have happen together. I'm not sure if I explained what I meant to explain. That's all the time I have to try to explain right now. I'll keep trying to explain things more in the future, and maybe anyone will ever understand what I'm saying about anything. Wish me luck.